You, but we've also got Vallabh Bhanshali, veteran of the markets and, of course, of the ENAM group joining us. Mr. Bhanshali, thanks very much for joining us on CNBC TV 18. We were expecting the big headline to come in from the US, but it's come in from the Prime Minister and from the government this evening, sir. Your first reaction?
I think this is revolutionary. It's revolutionary not only for the determination that the government has showed in taking the step against very legitimate concerns that the small man, the businessman in the short term, and so on, will face extreme difficulties and may be politically unpopular. But great decisions require that kind of will. Shireen, I think we must celebrate it for one simple reason, very, very big reason, besides the economic one, is that no illegal activity, no activity against society, against national interest, against your own interest is possible without black money. This is breaking the back of all those activities, and therefore this is stupendous. It is like a freedom fight all over again. It will have short-term difficulties like all freedom fights, but I just can't get over the import of what has been done.
As you pointed out, sir, you called it a revolutionary move. A lot of other commentators on the channel have called it earth-shattering, have called it a game-changer. But, Mr. Bhanshali, we're still awaiting the fine print, so to speak, from the government, and we expect that to happen in a short while from now when the Economic Affairs Secretary will brief the media. But in terms of the fine print, what is it that you would like to see so that this doesn't become a very painful process, especially in the transition period?
I hope that it is kept very simple. That means if you don't have an explanation for, exchanging your money, just go and pay tax. And therefore, what you will have is that while it might affect the momentum of money and the money in circulation, but it will boost government revenue. It will, cut the fiscal deficit. That means my chances of getting interest rate cuts and a huge boost to economy on the other end are, available. If they complicate it, some of this effect will not happen and, we'll be lost in minutiae. So I would really earnestly hope that they keep it simple.
Well, we are hoping that they will keep it simple. But in that sense, as Lata was pointing out, and, we just heard Zia there say that this is a disguised voluntary disclosure scheme, is it not, sir?
It is, in the sense that you have to have a fallback for the cash that you have. And then something that was legal tender till yesterday, will have to be dealt with in a manner which has got at least some equity. You can't just put that money to fire. And therefore, at a certain pain and penalty, if you have to, you must get a chance to come clean. And therefore, one deduces that this will result in disclosure scheme as well. So I think it's not only disclosure scheme of the past, like the black money scheme. See, this is, the import is for the future, unlike the other disclosure schemes.
Mr. Bhanshali, in the short term, what sort of an impact do you see? We had Jayesh Mehta, Bank of America, talking about the implications for the bond markets. But from an equity market perspective, as well as from a real economy perspective, in the short term, what do you see as the likely impact?
This will be celebrated with a lot of vigor and enthusiasm.
You believe that it will be celebrated with a lot of vigor and enthusiasm. But in the short term, do you see that this could perhaps crimp growth?
See, market is all about long term. We haven't had, earnings growth for a long while. Several quarters have gone by anticipating earnings growth. But the markets are still continuing to be in good mood. And I think this is, in two senses. One, it is very good for the economy in the longer term, to forget 3 months, 6 months. And second, that, the power and the respect for the government goes up many, many notches, which is also a cause for celebration for the market. And therefore not measuring in terms of, what happens to earnings immediately, but what happens to the market on the whole, and this what is called the sentimental value of the market. The sentimental quotient goes up many, many notches.
Mr. Bhanshali, would you say that this is perhaps the biggest reform undertaken by the Modi government?
I think this is the third freedom fight. We had one in 47, one in 1991 under Narasimha Rao, and this is as big because this is not only a fight against black money, but against all activities that are facilitated by black money. This is very, very big, Shireen.
In terms of the transformational impact of this move, sir, and you've alluded to that, but you've called it the third most transformational reform undertaken by any government in India. Give our viewers a sense of the kind of transformation this will lead to.
Say, for example, right from the kind of role that money plays in electoral politics to, how common man is deceived and defeated by those who would have black money and they go and do deeds, whether it is real estate, whether it is licensing, whether it is facility of any kind. They are all acts against the common man. And to the extent that, the government's power boosts with, tax disclosures, etc., it's all a blow for the common man. And therefore, it's really attempting to restore the balance, but hopes that the scheme is simple enough and this restoration becomes visible and easy and fast. Therefore, I think all challenges in the short term will have to be borne with a smile and a grin.